What do I believe needs to be done when this election is over? It's simple. Reopen the damn country. The coronavirus has not been as fatal as the press has been fear-mongering. True, 230,000 people have died from the virus, but here's the fucking kicker. The number of people that have died from the virus alone barely comes within an eyelash of 14,000. I'm not making that up. Doctors have been getting paid to write off deaths by heart attacks, cancer, HIV, car accidents, gunshots, and natural causes as COVID deaths just to spike up the fear. This pandemic has been little more than a scam, as far as I'm concerned. A scam to be used as a political weapon and drive the country into the ground. People are so gullible to believe it. And this leads me to believe that the fatality rate isn't as bad as in other nations either. Or is it just the US that's getting scapegoated with this bullshit? I don't know. But either way, these lockdowns that have been going on for what is now nearing 8 fucking months in the US, nearly a year across the globe in China, although they basically put an end to their lockdowns, quote unquote, have done more harm than good. Why? Because globalist whack job fuckhead governors in certain states like California, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Illinois, New York, Oregon, Washington State, Wisconsin, Michigan, and yes, even here in North Carolina, are sociopaths who want to take the one-size-fits-all security blanket approach, i.e., everyone has to take part in it and suffer the consequences, instead of protecting the most vulnerable. Oh, as would a conservative governor take the approach of a conservative governor. There would be. And then there's the snake in the grass that caused all this. Dr. Tony Anthony Fauci, Tony, false and fraudy. God, I have not done one of these rants in months. And I really need to do that. This raspy voiced, forked-tongued snake in the grass basically blackmailed the president into shutting the country down for what was supposed to be 2 weeks and then stretched it to 8 months. Or just about 8 months. President Trump, do me a favor. When you win re-election this coming Tuesday, yes, I said when, not if, because trust me, he will win re-election. And whether you fanatical left-wingers in BLM, the Democrat branch, Democracy, Freedom Caucus Democrats, or whatever the fuck you call yourselves, and the Socialist branch, like it or not, you're going to have to put up with Donald John Trump for 4 more years. In my opinion, the tables have to turn. You made us suffer through this. Well, next year, and the remaining 3 years after that, it's your asses who are going to suffer. Because the people are waking up in the overly liberal states. They realize their governors, their senators, their their representatives in the House, they don't give a fuck about them. All they care about is having power rather than doing something responsible with that power. To me, every Democrat that I know in power right now is an equivalent to Cornelius Fudge from the Harry Potter series. A corrupt, cowardly, people-pleasing slime easy to pander to slimeball. Dumbass. Buffoon. Who does more harm than good because he's more worried about having his job than he is actually doing it. And will do anything to clutch onto his power. There's a reason the Potter books called him the worst minister for magic in the history of the governing body, in the Wizarding World's governing body. And why after 3, and then after Scrimgeour got killed, Thickness got ousted and arrested, we got at the end of the books, of the final book, we actually got, in my opinion, the best minister for magic in Kingsley Shacklebolt. In the form of Kingsley Shacklebolt. But I'm going off topic. My point is this. All these slime balls in the Democrats in the Senate, the House, mayoral positions, governor's mansions, and governor's mansions across the country, they gotta go this year. This might be our last chance before disease takes them. Disease of any kind takes them, or someone on our side, and I'm praying this does not happen, gets so fed up with them that they storm their mansions and gun them down. And gun their asses down. Down and leave their carcasses for the dogs to devour. Or like Jezebel got, the punishment Jezebel got. And believe me, I really don't want to go down the ladder. I don't think we should go down the ladder road. Nor do I wish for anyone on the Republican side to go down the ladder road in terms of, in our way to eliminate the the corruption the Democrat Party is allowed to fester in itself. Because let's face it, compared to the Democrat Party that my mother knew about growing up in the 60s when Kennedy was running things, it makes you wonder, why is it that none of the Democrats hold to the Kennedy values today? Because many of these people have been in power of government for too fucking long. Which is why there should be a 28th Amendment that limits the Senate and the House, members of the Senate and the House, to no more than 2 6-year terms. At the minimum. At the maximum. Instead of letting them hold their positions borderline for life. And as for those in certain positions under the president, who are supposed to help him but end up undermining him for their own fame and agendas, they gotta go too. Fauci specifically, because he's as much in Gates and Soros' pockets as any of them. 35,000 doctors across the globe have stated, 1, the coronavirus is not as dangerous as as people say it is, and 2, these lockdowns and social requirements are doing more harm to the nation than good. Wearing masks and these social distancing requirements are doing more harm to the nation than good. For the not just the U.S., but in my opinion, for the world at large, they're doing it more harm than good. More harm than good. Now, one would say, what about India, which has the highest recovery rate, second highest casualty rate, and second highest infection rate case? That's a little different. India is known to have a poor sanitation system. It is a third world nation. On the other hand, they're faster to get to herd immunity because of that. Plus, they're a larger nation. But here's the point I'm trying to make. And I'm saying this also to the crooked asswipes in the press. You can either tell the truth about the virus, that really only 14,000 people have died from the virus alone, and we can get on with our lives, or I can ask President Trump to threaten your asses by saying either you start telling the truth, or he's pulling the plug on your funding. And I'm bringing this ultimatum to CBS, to PBS, to MSNBC, to CNN, to CNBC, ABC News, and NBC News stations. You assholes hear me? If I'm willing to get the president on board with this, to shut you fake news fuckheads up, I'll do it. So either you start preaching the truth instead of being political martyrs for the left, or you're off air. You're off the air for good. Because the people are waking up, and no one's listening to you anymore, because all you're doing is wah 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 wah. Oh, woe is me, doom and gloom, fuck America. The same song and dance we've been pulling ever since Obama got elected in 08, 09. Buttering up to Democrats and basically throwing Republicans in the dirt. Under the bus. However, if given the chance, in my opinion, from here on out, when we get that new conservative age Dr. Turley is talking about, it's going to be Democrats who are going to get their asses thrown under the bus. And in their case, it would be richly deserved to get their asses thrown under the bus. Thrown under the bus. That being said, I'm Mets2128 signing out. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. Goodbye, and good night. Bang!